preparing to live stream.
Oh, now live.
All right, I'm just waiting for it to go live. We may be live right now, but I'm just waiting for confirmation.
Right. It looks like it on my end.
Yes, it's saying live at the top, but I'm just making sure that we are live on YouTube. I asked to be text as well to make sure. Last week for like a good 1 minute, I didn't realize that we were live. So I believe we should be now. Come on. Yeah, I think we should be good. Let's start anyway. Okay. Hello, Nastasha. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. Thank you for asking. How are you?
Yeah, interesting times right now, that's for sure.
Yes.
So you own Choice Juicery, and I have been to 2 of your locations. I am there all the time. We've even done a video of your Carlsbad location, which you're at right now.
Yes.
So first of all, how is life for you, and how's the business? And apologies for the noise, because you are literally live in the Carlsbad location outside, so we might have trains going past.
Yeah, one just passed, and I thought we were done for at least an hour, but right after it, here comes another one. So sorry about that.
That's all right. Go ahead anyway. We can still hear you.
Awesome. Good. You know, things are good. Things are better, I think, for us than a lot of people in the restaurant space right now. So I honestly can't complain. You know, as you know, we're already set up predominantly as a grab and go business, whereas a lot of the restaurants that are, you know, rely on that, you know, dine in business are really being hit hard. We're being hit as well. I mean, we're not seeing, you know, the same amount of people, but we're still able to service our customers. We're able to do like the online ordering and, you know, pick up curbside. We're delivering cleanses to people's doorsteps. So we're already thought of in that way. All of our food's already packaged to go. As is. So I feel like we're really blessed in that sense. We were set up to be able to really weather this storm, and it's still very much a storm, but we're sustaining it. Every one of our 6 locations is still open. We haven't let go of a single employee to date. So I feel very blessed.
What locations have you got? And just by interest, are any of them getting affected worse than others? Because you've got like your one in Carlsbad, normally the footfall that you get is incredible, and Carlsbad's dead right now. So I'm really intrigued which ones are doing well and which ones have been most affected.
So I would say Carlsbad's actually one of our better ones right now. The ones that are being impacted the most, I would say, are our Encinitas location. We rely a lot on like the people working in the area that come in and do a lot of lunch business with us in Encinitas. Also, our Carlsbad Gateway location is all business.
And that's the one I normally go to because my office is around the corner from that. And I keep going because I want to support local businesses.
Thank you.
And I've noticed that, it's nowhere near as busy in there as it normally is.
Nowhere near as busy as it usually is. And then also, I would say our Little Italy location, again, that's in a business district, you know, and we get a huge lunch business there, lunch rush every day that we're not seeing. So we still have, you know, our regulars that come in every day. They're choice lifers. They're just there every day. It's part of their, you know, routine. It's a lifestyle for them. And so we're still seeing people at every location, which is awesome. I would say Carlsbad Village, because it's our oldest location. It's been established. We're going on 6 years in June. So I would say we have just a lot more built-in client base in Carlsbad. Solana Beach being our 2nd oldest, same thing there. Del Sur being our 3rd oldest, you know, so those 3 stores I would say are probably doing the best. They're also the oldest and have more established customer base. I would say that, again, the ones being hit the hardest are the newer stores and also that rely on, you know, the traffic that they normally have. So those are being hit the worst, I would say, but we're doing good, you know, compared to a lot of other people in the restaurant space right now.
And how?
So I feel very blessed about that.
And how have you adapted?
Okay, so Yeah.
What are the measures that you're having to take? And I know when I went into your, one of your Carlsbad ones, you had this massive long list of requirements, it seems, and everyone knows what you're doing and not doing. So I'm intrigued about that. So tell us more about what you're having to do, what you choose to do. That would be great.
Okay. Yeah, I would say that the city has done a really good job of helping businesses stay on top of what they should be doing, also what they're required to do. We're getting notifications as they come available, and a lot of the things that we were being told were required were things we had already implemented. But as changes come along, like I would say one of the more recent changes was overnight the requirement to wear face masks, and we already had face masks on order, and they were coming in like around the same time that the requirement was coming, so we got lucky there. But I think that's one of the bigger ones that came. Our employees overnight had to start wearing face masks while they were working with the public. A lot of those lists that you see are actually they're required by businesses still operating in the essential business categories. We're required to post those mandates and also be following all of those things. But we have our local city that's keeping us updated. They have actually police officers going around and patrolling the businesses, making sure that the proper signs are posted, that the proper safety measures are being taken. So I think if anything, that's been helpful. I think that to me, when the police are coming around, like the Carlsbad, for example, police are coming around, they're not coming to like get people in trouble. They're coming to make sure that people know what the expectations are and that they're following them. And I really appreciated that, actually. It's still intimidating. It's an intimidating time to be in business and have your doors open with everything going on. But we have incredible teams that are excited to still be working. They're excited to still be serving what we think is absolutely essential nutrition to the community through this crazy time. So.
And what about financially? Obviously, it has had an impact.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. So,
are you surviving? How long could you keep this going for? Your staff as well. Like, have you managed to keep them all going? What's the overall financial impact?
So I would say that, this March is our biggest season of the year. Normally. And so that's where we make a lot of our money that helps us sustain those like slower months later in the year. March through August are like our biggest months, but of all of those months, March is our biggest month. So the financial impact we're going to really start to see in the winter months. Right now we can always sustain on lower numbers with our business model. So for us, it's like getting thrown into a slow season again unexpectedly. We're used to a slow season. We know how to get really lean in terms of running our business operations, and we're used to doing that. Usually it's November through December we slow down significantly. So the sales we're seeing right now are even worse than a November December. It's like a really bad rainy November December, and on top of that it actually has been raining.
Which for an outdoor location like yours is going to affect it even more.
Not even just outdoors. I mean, predominantly our menu is cold. It's smoothies, cold pressed juice, salads.
I'll be honest, there are days recently where I've been like, I don't fancy going to your place because of the weather. You want something warm. Exactly.
Yeah. Most people, I mean, I'm like every day I go to bed at night thinking about the smoothie I'm going to get the next morning, rain or shine. And we have a lot of people like me, which is great. So, we're able to, again, sustain those rainy days, but rainy day plus coronavirus equals disastrous sales. So we've been impacted, I would say, in large part due to the coronavirus, but also that coupled with the rain at all locations impacts us. So, that's been a challenge, and how we're managing that is, we have to be really on top of our PARs. The biggest thing that will kill a business like mine is our waste. We work with a very expensive raw product, just the raw cost of our products, because we're certified organic and we don't touch anything conventional. We don't pasteurize our products, so our shelf life is only 4 to 5 days on most products, like our cold pressed juice, and so I think that makes it really challenging for us, because all of a sudden when you have a big slowdown like that, coronavirus, rain, you've got to really be on top of what you're producing, because if you don't pull back quickly enough, you're going to get destroyed, because you're having to, give away a lot of product, or, product goes down the drain if it expires out. And so we've had to really adjust to that. We're used to having to do that for rain and for slow season. So we've been really good about that. It's been tough right now. We're having to negotiate our leases with all of our landlords. We've had to, negotiate 3-month rent deferments on most locations that have been willing to work with us, which has been awesome, where they're willing to defer our rent for 3 months and then, amortize it over 12 months, which has been really helpful. We've applied for the PPP.
Josh, who was on last week from a Sky Zone, he owns 2 locations, Carlsbad and San Marcos. They weren't doing that for him. So
they were not?
No, and he's not open at all. So it's really useful to see that there are some good landlords out there helping people.
There are. I would say not everybody has been willing to work with us, but for the most part, they have been. And I feel like most of my landlords are in a position where they have to. What's the alternative? They're not going to be able to lease out those spaces right now. No one's going into a new space, and if these businesses fail, good luck collecting anything, even on the personal guarantees. So I feel like it's the right thing to do. The landlords that really pushed back on wanting to work with me, my response to them was like, we've all been thrown into this global, pandemic. I'm not asking for help with rent because of some poor management on my part with my business. This is something that we're all in together. So to expect me to shoulder that responsibility solely on my own is not fair. I think together we need to work to figure out a solution that works for everybody. So some of my landlords, they need to collect something. So I've been paying a percentage of rent to those landlords, and the others, are doing the deferment. They have the cash reserves to be able to do that. But I think that every landlord, and I think that if you push, because I did get a pushback from a lot of my landlords initially when I asked, but ultimately, it came down to like, hey, this isn't my responsibility to shoulder this all by myself. We're all in this together, and we all need to shoulder some of this. What are your needs? What are my needs? And let's try to find some common ground here. So at the end of the day, every one of my landlords has been pretty much willing to work with me. It just took a little bit of back and forth.
Great. Well, that's really good to know. And what about staff? Because surely it's not possible for you to keep on every single staff member on the hours that they were. Have you managed to keep most of them happy? What's the situation?
We have, naturally, we had some employee, a lot of our girls and guys that work with us. A lot of them are like, transplants here. In some of our locations, they're here without family. They're here living the San Diego dream. And so when this happened, a lot of those, team members were like, hey, I want to go home and be with my family. If I'm going to be locked down, I'm out of here. So we did lose some people to that. If anything, like we lost people we didn't want to lose. As a result of that. So we actually were hiring in this. We've been crazy hiring because
that's
we had
good for as a business, because it costs money to hire. You have to train them.
It's been a huge added expense, but we've had to do it because we had that. We also had some girls that have family members that are either elderly that they live with or have autoimmune compromise. So we had a parting of ways with a lot of people, and some temporary, most temporary, other than the ones that moved back home. We had a parting of ways with people that were like, hey, I want to voluntarily step back. Our teams have been amazing. I mean, everyone's worked together. We have teammates that are like, hey, I don't rely on this money. I live with my family. So I'd rather give my hours to somebody else who really needs them. So as a team, I'm not paying myself right now. As a CEO, I can't get paid, but I'm making sure my employees are getting paid. So we haven't laid anyone off as a result of this. We have stores that we should probably close because it's not worth being open in some of the locations, but we're keeping them open because we want to keep people employed. We have some cash reserves. I'm doing everything on my end to just keep every single one of my team members employed that wants to be employed right now.
And have you applied for government help as well?
So we applied for the SBA disaster relief loan, and then also the advance on that. It's been crickets from the SBA, and then we're with one of the bigger banks, and their application didn't come available until not this past Friday, but the Friday before. And so we were like ready to go. I was I have friends that have, accounting firms and friends that, are, just heavily involved with, what's going on with this PPP thing. And so I was being given a lot of advice on what kind of documentation I needed to get, prepared so that I would be ready when my bank was ready. And so I was ready to go, and so the day that our application with our bank went live was 2 Fridays ago. And I was, one of the first ones on there applying for that loan. And then it took them a few days to come back and request any documentation. They did it through some sort of like a third party. All the paperwork right away. Within a few days, I was reaching out like, hey, can you confirm that you've gotten everything you need from me? It took a few days to get anyone to respond, but they did assure me that like they've got people like in mortgage lending and all these other departments coming together to really work on these loans. My bank's pulling all resources to try to get these things processed. What was that?
What bank is it?
Bank of America.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because
so
I've only used Wells Fargo, put it that way. So
I've been told. Sorry, I'm having a hard time heading. I've been told that it's actually better if you're with one of the smaller banks because they are funding a lot more quickly. One of the benefits I think of a big bank like Bank of America is they have so many resources to pull from. So while they have a lot of people in line, they are using all of their resources. And I feel confident that they're doing everything in their power to get money to people as quickly as they can. You know, for some people, I don't know if it's quick enough. Thankfully, you know, we've been in a position where we've been able to, like I said, work with our landlords on our rents and do things like that to help to keep us afloat right now and keep paying payroll until that money does come in. So.
And how are you staying in touch with your clients? Like, what are you doing that's maybe different than before with your clients?
You know, we're way more active on social media. We've been doing a lot of, one of the things that we did was we did some like video production to really highlight our delivery program that we launched, our online ordering that we launched. So we've been doing a lot of that. We've been doing a lot of marketing through, you know, those channels through social media, Facebook, Instagram, to just get in front of more of our own audience, but also just, you know, San Diego at large, because I think that it's an opportunity for people to get to know our brand and what we have to offer during this time where people are concerned about their health and their well-being. Well, we have a product that's really helpful for that. So really trying to get in front of more of those people. And other than that, I would say we've been jumping on and doing a couple of like live, you know, we did a little live Instagram story and shared one of our favorite immunity recipes. So just trying to do more stuff like that. We've, you know, been trying to connect with people through our newsletter, which we're not consistent with that sort of thing. We're also working on, you know, getting our cookbook out there as quickly as possible, you know, putting recipes in hands of people that aren't, you know, braving the storm or aren't able to order online or do cleanses with us so that they have access to, you know, just health and wellness while they're.
Can I be cheeky and ask for a copy of the cookbook when it's available? My wife, that'll be a great Mother's Day present. My wife will absolutely love it.
I'm working hard to get that done on time. But it's funny because you think, you know, I would have more time through all of this, but I'm actually busier myself, you know, through all of this because all of a sudden I've got, you know, loans I'm applying for and all kinds of paperwork I'm gathering, and I'm still doing my job because I'm in an essential, you know, business being in the food industry. So I'm actually working more hours right now than I was working previous to this. So the downtime isn't there for me at all.
The good thing with your business is that hopefully this makes people eat healthier anyway. I mean, I'm like 90% vegan. I love your place. And it's one of these things where, you know, the coronavirus has actually, you know, they say it affects people more that are less healthy and don't have a great immune system and things. And eating like yours and getting your cookbook and changing lifestyle can only help people. And there's a lot of people right now just sat at home watching Netflix, eating rubbish. Hopefully after this, people get on a real, you know, healthy eating, exercise, and you guys might even be even busier. And you've got to try and take positives out of this, but hopefully you'll be even busier after this.
I really do hope so. Yeah, I really do hope so. I feel like, you know, going to the grocery stores lately has been kind of almost heartbreaking for me because the things that I see sold out are like the frozen items, the canned items. And I'm like, the produce, you know, aisle is still loaded with, you know, fresh organic produce. I'm like, come on, people, you know, let's make some better choices.
Gone mad with toilet paper. You'd think everything would go wrong with fruit and vegetables.
I finally found some toilet paper at my favorite little health food store the other day, but they were selling it by the roll, and I was only allowed to buy 2 rolls. And I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm a single mom, but I have 3 kids, and I adopted my teenage brother last year when my father passed away, and so I have now 4 children. So I'm like, 2 rolls isn't even going to get me through a day. So yeah, that's been the biggest challenge.
Anyone wants some fruit? I've got the toilet paper. Exactly.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what if one of my teenagers checks out with their own toilet paper? Does that work?
Yeah. And how can people support you guys right now? I mean, I gather the obvious way is by, you know, smoothies and what, you know, and you obviously do lots of different types of food in different locations. You offer different things, I find, as well. But is there anything that, you know, you say the delivery service and stuff, if they go on their website, is it easy for them to find what's available and order online?
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that people can do to support us right now. We have an online store where we sell a lot of our retail items and we ship nationwide. And then locally, you can actually order, we have an immunity pack that we actually launched during this time to help boost people's immunity. And we'll deliver that to your door next day. Also, all of our cleanses, which are also immune boosting, but I mean, great opportunity to get healthier right now. Yeah. So all of our cleanses are also available for online purchase and then delivery to your doorstep. And then another thing you can do is you can order online and you can come into the store and either or you call to the store and actually deliver to your side. You don't you know, have any contact, and payment, you know, payment is contact free as well. It's online. So those are some of the ways. Buying gift cards can plan to come in later and you don't, there's not buy right now. You can, I also just spreading the word about who we are. I think that's really important. I think that a lot of people, you know, they think we're just juice, and we're not just juice. We're juice. We're food. We're smoothies. We're bowls. We're all sorts of things. But more than that, you know, we are the highest integrity food business that probably exists today anywhere. I can't find another place that does things to the degree that we do things. And just to give you a small example of that, most people don't know, like every smoothie and bowl that is made here is made with our house-made sprouted vanilla almond milk. And it's not just that simple. We actually import almonds from another country because you cannot buy raw almonds in this country. If almonds aren't raw, you lose most of the nutritional value of the almonds. So we import them from another country. Then we actually sprout those almonds, which basically breaks down all the enzyme inhibitors on the outside of the nut and activates all the nutrition inside the nut, making it more bioavailable for you, so you can actually access the nutrition in that. And that's what we use to, you know, make all of our smoothies and all of our bowls. And then we take all of the pulp from that almond milk and we turn that into flour, and we use that to bake all of our baked goods here. Everything that we do is literally made in-house. Our bread that we do here, our loaf, I don't know if you've had our super loaf yet. We sell the loaf at every location. We have a toast menu.
Free, so I've tried pretty much.
Oh, that's awesome. Good. Yeah. So that bread, I mean, you cannot find a better bread. The reason I didn't want to get into making bread, I am not a bread baker, you know, but I got into it because I wanted to launch an avocado toast option at our stores, and I could not find a bread that fit into our nutritional philosophy. It didn't exist. It had to be organic. It had to be plant-based. It had to be gluten-free, and it had to taste good. And it didn't exist. And so we created one.
Tough to do as well. That must have taken you a long time.
Oh my gosh. It was really tough. It took a lot of time and a lot of help, actually, from some well-talented, you know, highly talented bakers. That we actually worked with a consultant who helped me develop the recipe. He was like a baker. He's an 80-year-old baker whose family came from like Texas toast. And, you know, they created the Texas toast, which is anything but healthy, but they know how to bake food. No. And so baking is chemistry, and I am not a chemist. I will happily admit that. And so, yeah, it was you know, me being like, you know, really strict about the ingredients, and us testing and trying, and this didn't work, so let's try this, and that doesn't work, so let's try that. And just it was a long process, but at the end result was something so amazing that then we decided to start selling the loaf. But yeah, it's high in protein, and it's got omegas in it, and iron and fiber, and it's literally like bread is usually like not nutritional, and then you add your nutrition inside the 2 slices, and then you eat your thing, you know. But our bread is actually the nutrition. I'm always like, it's like taking a multivitamin, and you're getting your nutrition by eating the bread. So I mean, everything that we do, our juice is not pasteurized, our juice is not diluted. No other juice business is doing that anymore. They're either diluting their juice, or they're HPPing it, or light filtering it, which basically means gamma radiated, or, you know, they're putting it through a heat treated pasteurization process, which destroys the valuable nutrition, which is the whole reason why we drink juice. And so if you go to the grocery store and you buy a juice, you might think, oh, wow, that was only $5 for that juice. But that juice has been through a pasteurization process. It's been sitting on the shelf upwards of 45 days. So the value that's in that juice is not there. People sometimes balk at the prices of our juice, but our juice, you know, while it's like $10, $11 for a cold pressed juice, it's 2 servings, mind you, served in a glass bottle. It hasn't been through any pasteurization process. processed. So it's really high in nutritional value, unlike the $5 juice that you might buy from the grocery store that's devoid of nutrition. So, I mean, take your pick, you get what you pay for. And you know, I just think that more people need to understand that and appreciate the quality of the nutrition. To me, it's like you are drinking your medicine. Food is medicine. The father of medicine said it himself, not pasteurized, heat treated, sitting on the shelf for 45-day juice. You know, if that's all you have access to, I'm not going to, you know, balk at that. It's like, hey, if you got nothing else available to you, then it's better than thing. However, have access to raw organic juice served in a glass bottle without any toxic plastics leaching into it, then by all means, please drink that. And it doesn't have to be from choice, but it is really hard to find it anywhere else.
Yeah, my wife has multiple sclerosis, so we've studied food and the benefits of food in your health, etc. So I know all about this. So it's fantastic for you to. I actually said I'd love to have a business like yours a few years ago when we started finding out about gluten and everything. We were like, there should be your business out there. And I thought about doing it, and then I saw you guys when we moved here and found out about your business. I was like, yes, there is someone out there. And one of the reasons why we wanted to move to California from the UK was because, you know, most people are, you know, health conscious here. And it's a great place to live because we've got options like you guys, there's places like Nectarine Grove who free food in Texas and stuff as well. And there's some really good options. So thank you so much for having such an amazing business from my point of view.
My pleasure. And it's an honor for me.
In regards to the lockdown, we're going to come out of lockdown maybe May, June, hopefully as soon as possible. Are you expecting it to, you know, just click back to normal? Or are you expecting to have to, you know, keep a lot of, you know, the masks and the gloves and everything? Do you think your business is going to have to adapt for the next maybe year or so?
Yeah, you know, it's hard to say. I think that there are some of those things will probably have to stay in place for a little while. I think only time will tell. You know, if we start to see a spike in cases after we start reopening up businesses, then some of those things will probably stay in place for a while. That's my guess. Do I think things are going to just pop back into place? I think that's hard to say yes to. I would like to believe that, but I think that you're going to see, you know, tourism, which we rely on heavily, I think is going to be hit for quite a while. I don't think people are going to be traveling the way that they were before for some time to come. So I think that that's going to hit pretty hard. I don't think we'll see the same high summer season that we saw before. I don't think large scale events will open up for a long time. So I think all of that stuff is going to have an impact on all businesses, and certainly people like me in the food business.
And how do we get in contact with you? What's your website address? How do we follow you in social media?
Yeah. So we're at Choice Juicery. So the little @ Choice Juicery is our handle at Choice. And then let's see, our website is www.choicejuicery.com. Pretty easy. And me personally, I'm Nastasha McKeon. You can find me on my handle is also Nastasha McKeon, and you can see me. I'm kind of all over the Choice feed as well.
Thank you so much for coming in. Well, coming
Absolutely.
in, coming on.
Thank you so much for having me on.
And is there anything else that you wanted to mention?
No, that's it. Just stay healthy, stay safe, and we hope to see you on the other side of this thing.
Well, I'm so happy that you guys, you know, are open, are still going, and it's a great thing for people to be able to still get healthy food. So I'm so happy that you guys are keeping all your locations open. I'm going to keep coming as much as I possibly can.
We so appreciate you.
Right, take
care. Thanks for doing stuff like this.
Right, bye.
Bye.